Jermaine Griffin says, well, if Kobe can't do it, maybe it's my turn to take over. I'm the second leading scorer on this team.
Yo, what's going on? Thank y'all for tapping in. This is your boy, Mell, and you tuned in to Mell from Queens Sports Talk Radio. Yo, it's Mell from Queens, but it's not only about New York City. I just want y'all to know this is nationwide, this is worldwide. We showing love to all over, but we just labeling Mell from Queens because that's where I'm from. So, thank you for tuning in. If y'all want to call in, give us a call. I want to hear from y'all today. Today we're going to be talking about the MVP of the NBA. I want to hear y'all comments. I want to hear y'all thoughts about it because that's a big topic. I mentioned earlier in this week we want to talk about a little bit about fans and their altercations, with the players and athletes. That's been like a big thing like going on, as of late. So we want to jump into that. We want to talk about that. And I want to get y'all take on the playoffs right now. We're going to talk about a little bit of baseball, football, and all the other stuff. But right now we know that basketball is soon to be over. So we want to get into that. We want to talk, about that. So give me a call, 347-410-8077. That's 347-410-8077. And don't forget, you can check us out, WGJSradio.com. That's WGJSradio.com. So let's get started. So look, today, man, it was some great games last night. So I want to get y'all take on the on that series. I think that that Jason Tatum and Giannis, they went at it last night. That was a big game. Boston pulled it out. Tatum is balling right now. I actually picked the Bucks to win this series. The reason why I picked the Bucks to win this series because you can't go against the champs. You can't go against the champs. And so I'm gonna stick with them until they out. That's not my team. I got a chance to go visit this year. I went to Wisconsin with my son this year and got a chance to check out Milwaukee. Got some good people out there. So, I appreciate y'all for that. Before we get into it, I just want to just give y'all a rundown how this show, Mell from Queens, is going to be. Mell from Queens Sports Talk, we're going to talk about a lot about, of course, the professional sports, the athletes, and what's going on in the world. But the most important part is this is a community here. This is a family. I need y'all to tap in. Tell me what's going on in the community. If you know any track stars or basketball players or soccer players all over, let me know. Let us highlight it. I want to talk about it. I want to do interviews. We're going to have interviews with some legends, street ball legends. We're going to have interviews with, try to get a couple of celebrities in here that played the sport. We're going to have just local athletes. If you got camps, basketball camps or volleyball camps, whatever you have to do, hit me up. Let me know. I want to be able to promote it for you. I'm also on Facebook, Mell from Queens Sports Talk, so you can find me on Facebook as well. But hit me up because I need all the information. It's very important. We want to keep y'all engaged within the community. We're not just going to be out here just talking about the pros all day. We want to talk about y'all kids and stuff like that as well. We want to be able to help the community any way we can. So, this show is going to be no narratives. Come with your facts. Come with your stats. I want you to talk your talk. Whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, just talk your talk because I'm going to talk mine and I'm going to run with the facts. So with that being said, when you talk about merch and stuff like that, if you have merch, let me know if you want to rock a hoodie. Now, when I did, this is Big Baller Brand right here, right? I got this when they first started. I got the hat, I got the shirt, right? And the reason why I got this because one of the narratives in sports that was going on is that they always want to try to get a father or the parents out of their kids' lives, right, in sports. We ain't doing that. At the end of the day, I'd rather, if it was me, now everybody's different. If it was me, I'd rather my parents talk about me all day, big me up, hype me up, talk about my game, than these analysts that's just going to just attack me when they feel like it, or if they don't rock with me, it's going to be a narrative where they could try to mess with my money and different things like that. So y'all got to be careful because when LeVar Ball started promoting his sons, my boy, he was telling me about the Ball brothers for years, but I ain't really paid him no mind before Zoe even went to UCLA. But once LeVar started talking, it made me check for them. And people don't realize, I don't think if LeVar Ball didn't speak about Zoe. He probably wouldn't have went number 2 in the draft pick. I'm not saying he wasn't good, but I feel like that extra boost that LeVar gave him really helped his celebrity, really helped the brand. And I think that was a good thing. And I support that, especially where we come from. They always want the story of the father who, with the athlete who grew up with no father, with the single mom home and all of that stuff. That's what they always want to paint that picture. They love that picture. So we want to get away from that narrative. So me, if I rock with you, I rock with you. So it's that big baller brand. You ain't got to rock with them if you want, but me personally, I do rock with them. So I'm just letting y'all know. So let's get back into it. Let's talk about the MVP before we get into the highlights last night because, matter of fact, I want to talk about the highlights first. I want y'all to call in right now and give me y'all take. Who's going to win the series between the Bucks and the Boston Celtics? We know it's Game 7. It's going to be in Boston. Who do you have to win this series? Now, I like Boston. They are young. They hungry right now. They want to do their thing. But like I told y'all before, I'm going to go with the Bucks until somebody beat them. I just feel like that's how you show respect, to the champs. Giannis has proved that he could win in Boston, So if he can win in Boston, he can win Game 7. He's balling. Nobody can stop him. To me, Giannis is the most unstoppable player in the NBA right now, It's a lot of good candidates that put up good numbers and stuff like that, but it don't always lead to wins. They don't always lead to being able to carry a team far in the playoffs. But we see how far Giannis got the Bucks, and he don't have Chris Middleton right now. Chris Middleton has been injured, and they're about to take the Boston Celtics to a 7-game series right now. Like, come on, man. You already know what it is. We want to talk about what's your take on the Western Conference Finals? Who y'all got to come out the West? Now, my original takes, I said unless LeBron was out, I wasn't going to go against LeBron like in the West. But once he didn't make the playoffs, I had to step back. And my picks for the finals were the Golden State Warriors versus the Milwaukee Bucks, right? My pick for the Eastern Conference Finals was the Miami Heat against the Bucks. And I got the Phoenix Suns versus Golden State. Now, Luka been balling for Dallas. Luka been balling, so it ain't gonna be no easy win for the Suns. They got to come out. They got to just take this. They got to just shut Luka down. If I'm coaching, I'm letting anybody beat me but Luka. I can't be having him out there thinking that he's somebody. He's LeBron and he's all these players that he's not even athletic, and he's out there putting these numbers. He's doing his thing. So I respect his game. I respect what he's doing. But if I'm coaching, I want to see somebody else beat me. I don't want to see Luka beat me. But like I said, I want to hear from y'all real quick. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs. Who y'all got? 347-410-8077. That's 347-410-8077. I want to know who y'all got. I want to know what team right now you pulling for. I want to know why. Now, if your team recently just lost, I want to know what's good. Like, for example, let's talk about the Sixers, man. The Sixers, all this talk with James Harden, Embiid, Doc Rivers, is a lot right now. Now, here's my thing about the Philadelphia 76ers, right? Because they ain't win, Doc Rivers is going to get a lot of heat, right? And I hate the fact that Doc Rivers gets so much heat because I feel like Doc Rivers, outside of the big three he had for Boston, a lot of his teams that he had was pretenders. Like, you look at the Clippers, when he coached the Clippers, outside of that year when he had Kawhi and Paul George, but them Chris Paul's team with Blake Griffin and all of them, to me, like, you have superstars, you have stars, and you have good players. I'm labeling somebody a superstar if you have a championship. If you don't have no championship, I'm not labeling you no superstar. I don't care how good you are. I'll label you a star. Now, I ain't going to label you no superstar. Now, your brand might be big. So I feel like that a lot of times we want to be quick to label somebody as superstar, and they haven't really showed that. Now, does all superstar, have to win a championship? No. Because people could say, like, Allen Iverson was a superstar. People could say, like, Charles Barkley was a superstar. Who else am I missing right now? Like some Patrick Ewing. People could say, like, Patrick Ewing was a superstar. You know, some people might say like they didn't have the teams to win, but a lot of these non-chip winners, they had the teams to win it. They just didn't do it. They just wasn't the best player at the time. A lot of times with the superstars, the reason why they win is because yes, you got to have a good team, but you got to have at least one or two players that establish themselves like, yo, we the best at it. We doing our thing. So with that being said, let's get back to Doc Rivers. I feel like Doc Rivers is going to be judged unfairly because people is expecting Doc Rivers to do what nobody has done for James Harden. James Harden hasn't won with anybody. James Harden has choked pretty much with every team he's been on, right? So because he goes to the Sixers this year, and because they lose again in the second round, which is their pattern, then it's going to fall on Doc Rivers. It's going to fall on James Harden, right? But for me personally, if Embiid is that dude, then Embiid got to be that dude. Now, I hear we've been having some conversations about the face mask. People like, yo, you don't know what it is about playing with the face mask. Listen, bottom line, your arms work, your legs work. You know, I'm not saying you might not be in some pain, but you can't be shooting bad in the closeout game. And that's been a pattern of Embiid as well, whether it was with Ben Simmons, whether it was with James Harden, that's been his pattern. So I feel like because of the injury, that's the only reason why I'm going to give Joel Embiid another shot next year. Now, I'm not a Sixers fan. I don't think they're going to take it, but I want to give like that team together. You know, Maxi's doing his thing. Tobias Harris had spurts where he played well in the playoffs, but the Sixers are not dependent on Tobias Harris. The Sixers are dependent on, Maxey, I would say, number one Embiid, and number two, James Harden. Does James Harden have to play better? Yes, he has to play better, especially in the closeout game. But so does Embiid. And we got to give it up for Jimmy Butler, man. Jimmy Butler just been putting in that work for a lot of years, and he don't get the respect that he deserved. We got to start putting Jimmy Butler in the top 10 plays in the game. And a lot of times we want to look at people only stats, but if you getting stats and you're not doing nothing, you're not winning, how you top 10 anything? There are a bunch of stars. Now, I would label somebody a superstar. Like, now, if you want to label like Iverson or like a Ewing a superstar, now, when I say bums, right, they're not bums as like the average players, right? Because you could take the worst player in the NBA right now, you bring them to the gym, they give anybody probably 40 or 50, right? So when you take the worst player in the NBA that's considered a bum in the NBA, not in regular life, if you got a team full of bums and you can carry a team like that to the finals, it's just something special about you, man. And I think that, Allen Iverson and Patrick Ewing, man, we gotta give them their flowers for that. I don't put like Charles Barkley, Malone in that category because they both played with other Hall of Fame players that was good. Like, Barkley came in the league with Moses. He came in the league with Dr. J, even if it was for 1 year. He played with Kevin Johnson. He had a nice team over there. He even tried to do the dream team thing in Houston, So he just ain't get it done. So I ain't it is what it is. But Patrick Ewing, like, I've been hearing Charles Oakley do a lot of talking. And to me, if you take Charles Oakley right now and you dump him in this era, he would be trash. Like, he would be really, like, all that toughness, he would be really trash in the NBA right now. In his era, he was trash, but he made up for it because he was a tough guy, and people respect that. But when you go on these podcasts and you go on these platforms and you try to blame Ewing for not winning a championship, it's like, yo, all Ewing sidekicks was like, what's the word? Role players. He had no real star. Think about it. His best players for his years probably was John Starks, Oakley, right? And then we can't forget about the years when they had like a short stint with Sprewell and Allen Houston. Sprewell was playing out of position. That was dumb anyway. They was playing him as small forward, and they should have been playing him as shooting guard. So, I respect that. So we got to stop putting that label out there, just labeling everybody a superstar. Everybody is not a superstar. So I respect that. So with that being said, so this year, man, there's a lot of players that people hold highly. They got a lot to prove. Like, Chris Paul need to step up and close this series out, right? Now, I'm a big Booker fan. I think Booker is that guy. Ayton is that guy. But Chris Paul, he got to play his part because, they always try to overlook Booker and give all the praise to Chris Paul. Now, this is not a knock. This is not a I know I got a lot of Phoenix Suns fans out there, and we go at it every single day. So if you want to call in, 347-410-8077, 347-410-8077. Call in and let's talk about it, Let me hear your thoughts on it. But Chris Paul, he got a lot to prove this year. So I want to see Chris Paul really step up in Game 7. He don't got to do better than Booker, but he got to at least compliment Booker. Ayton got to play well for them to win that series, because how does that look on Chris Paul's career if they lose this year to Dallas? People not even going to look at Devin Booker. They're just going to look directly at Chris Paul. And once again, that goes back to what I was saying about Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers been having a lot of players who they're good, but they can't get you over the hump. Like Chris Paul was never better than Tony Parker as far as in the playoffs. He got that work. Steph Curry got that work. I would take Dame Lillard over him. Now, don't get me wrong. Chris Paul is a great point guard, but he's not like that. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. He's not that dude that kind of to make it happen. To me, he choke a lot, and he's just not the Steph. He's just not the Dame Lillard. He's just not that. And Doc Rivers get a lot of those players, right? And when they fold, it's always going to fold on him. So, Sixers, they lost. Call in if you a Sixers fan, 347-410-8077. Let me know why y'all lost, man. Let me know why y'all. Let me hear y'all excuse, man, why y'all lost. Cause when y'all traded for Harden, I was hearing a lot of talk. I was even hearing Big Perk. Perk was like, "Yeah, this is the next Kobe and Shaq." Yo, I look so bad right now. Yo, that looks so bad right now. Yo, we got the next Kobe. And this is what I'm saying when we talk about narratives, right? Kobe and Shaq, you automatically now. He probably looked at talent. He's like, yo, you look at their talent, they have the potential to do that. But how can Perkins say this is the next Kobe and Shaq, and everybody on the airways, they go crazy with it? But when LeVar Ball big up his sons, right? Everybody's saying yo, we don't need his father around. So I'm talking about a lot of things, and I'm doing that, for a reason, because we're going to kill all the narratives. We're going to talk sports. We're going to talk adjustments in the games. We ain't just going to do this hot takes just so people can just run with it, and we just want to down players and down athletes and and all of those things. So it's interesting right now in the NBA. The Heat did their thing, so they waiting right now. Boston tomorrow. Golden State is waiting right now. So call in right now if you a Suns fan, if you a Heat fan, if you a Golden State fan. If you're a Boston fan, tell me what y'all takes are on the next game, and also tell me who you picking in the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals, and then tell me who y'all want to get into, who y'all picking in the NBA Final. Like I said, I'm picking the Bucks to go all the way. The Bucks is not my team, but I'm gonna go ahead and respect the champs. And Giannis, he's doing his thing, and even with Middleton, could you imagine what that would do for Giannis' career? Could you just think about that for a minute? So we got our first caller calling in. We're going to see what they talking about right now. Caller, you tuned in to Mell from Queens Sports Talk Show. Who am I speaking with? Your name and the city you calling from.
This is Dwayne from the Bronx, New York.
Yo, what's going on, man? What's good? What you want to talk about today? My dude.
I'm hearing you talking about the NBA playoffs.
Okay.
And, I want to know what's your take on these Game 7s coming up?
On the Game 7s?
On the 2 Game 7s, who you got?
All right, so I'm taking the Bucks, even though they got it's a road, it's a hard path to kind of go into Boston and get this. But I'm going with the champs. I got to go with Giannis. I feel like Giannis has been the most consistent player in the NBA playoffs. As good as Tatum played last night, he had a game where he had like 10 points. He had a couple games. He might have had like 19, 20. Giannis has been like, to me, like 20-something points and better, 30s, 40s, double-doubles, assists. So I'm not going to go against the Bucks because they're the NBA champs. So I'm going to give them that respect right now. As far as Game 7, I'm picking the Suns because they have to win. It should be no doubt in their mind. If they don't win this game, it's going to be what they call, they're going to say is like a knock on Chris Paul's legacy. Now, it's not going to be a knock on how good he is. He's a good player. He had a long career in the NBA. But it's going to be a knock. They're going to say Chris Paul's on the team again, and he couldn't get it done. So what's your take, and who do you have, and what do you feel about my take on, the teams that I picked?
First off, the Giannis, I agree with you.
Okay.
But I'm going with the Celtics because it's Giannis alone. I've watched the games, and although I marvel at the fact of Giannis being the superstar and owning and taking the shot and not being scared of the moment,
right?
I feel the NBA has changed where these young boys do not care.
Yeah.
And Tatum, Brown, with a mixture of the veterans, I don't think they can go into Boston because it's Giannis. Even though Drew is nice, probably they got a solid team, but I think Boston's team is better. But if Giannis pulls this off, he's on his way to Mount Rushmore status.
Wow. Wait, hold on. If Giannis pulls this off, you parachuting him or you leapfrogging him to on his way to Mount Rushmore?
I don't know what the phrase leapfrog means. Like the man hasn't put in. Look, I believe he's like a 2-time MVP.
Right.
Defensive Player of the Year, NBA champion. And the Heat, we know they're out of here. Like, so he's going to go to another championship with a chance to win. And if he completes this year with a championship, he's on his way to Rushmore status.
Now, this is why I could see where you coming from, right? Because just say even he pull it off against this series, right? Because one thing I credit to you about your pick against Boston, that is a really good pick over a lot of pick, because one thing people don't realize, Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, they already been to 2 conference finals already in their short career. So this will actually be their 3rd conference finals. So it ain't gonna be. It's not like they don't have the experience to beat the Bucks. So I'm up in the air.
Al Horford.
And Al Horford. That's right. Yeah. You know what? Not only did
Al Horford.
Go ahead.
He's been around.
Yeah.
Al Horford has been around. A lot of battles with a lot of great.
Yeah.
And like he was there for that whole LeBron run.
Yep.
He's won 60 games with the Hawks
as
arguably the number 1 option on those teams.
Yeah.
So
and
he's a solid pick, but that's what I'm going with.
And you know what? He actually had a couple games, man, and when he was really like balling out. I know, like what was it? Game 5, he dropped a nice 30-piece on him. So
yeah,
I ain't see that coming. But like you said, you got Marcus Smart, you got Horford, you got Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown. They all have experience, right? And the sleeper with Boston as well is Derek White, because we know that he used to play for the San Antonio Spurs, and we know how Pop run it over there in San Antonio. So he actually came in the other day, and he was a big help getting rebounds, finding the open guy. He can hit open threes. So I like that pick. Like I said, if Boston win, I wouldn't be surprised if they won. But like I said, I'm just going with the champs. But I like your pick. But I want you to stay. We're going to talk about MVPs in a little bit, right? Because my thing is, I'm tired of all these. To me, we gotta. I feel like MVP, All NBA, all of that stuff is starting to get watered down now. because somebody's
Yeah.
always slided, right? And it always can go another way, right? So we're gonna get into that in a minute. But let me hear your pick for the West, Game 7. Who you picking? You think Luka could pull this off?
That's why I wanted to get your pick. I'm a Chris Paul lover
Okay.
and hater, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see him win, but if he loses, I kind of knew it already.
Now, can you go into that a little bit? Because, and callers, call in 347-410-8077, 347-410-8077. If you just tuned in, you listening to Mell from Queens Sports Talk on WGJSradio.com. And we're on the phone with Dwayne right now. He got a couple more minutes. So go ahead, finish what you're saying. Let me hear that.
Okay, so Chris Paul has always been close, but it's been an injury or it's been always some type of excuse to why he hasn't been able to climb over the mountain.
Right.
And my thing is I would love to see him win because, hey, this, it's a great who did it. But if he doesn't, it was like he goes into Charles Barkley's bag.
Is he really in that bag though? You could put him in that Charles, because at least Charles Barkley. Well, he went to a chip as well last year. You put him in that bag, which you think so. Where do you rank? Like right now, if you could rank Chris Paul, right? Then I'm gonna get into another caller. If you could rank Chris Paul real quick, where would you rank Chris Paul right now? And just say in the NBA right now, where would you put him in regards to point guard, right? And I'm just talking about it as a player. A lot of times people want to use, the pure point guard or the shooting point. No, we just talking about it as a player right now. If you say right now, I need a player right now to bring it home for my team, do you feel like Chris Paul is that dude? Because to me, he chokes and he's injured. So he always kind of like, he always like never got the job done for some reason or whatever.
Jamel, we can't take away the dude just went 18 for 18.
But he also had a game where he had 5 points and he had 12 points. Now I like that 18 for 18, but a lot of times we highlight the 18 for 18, and when he had that bad games, we get the altercation in the crowd with somebody in his family, so we don't really get a chance to talk about that. Because after he had that 18 for 18, he hasn't been playing well at all. He had three subpar games, one horrible game, and 2 subpar games.
Well, that's why these are the legacy games that build you, and you say, yo, you're that guy, or, hey, we all knew it. So, he's not done.
Right.
But I'm telling you this, as you just said, if he loses this year, I don't think Chris Paul ever goes back.
I agree with you. So here's my thing real quick, right? And I'm going to let you go off this. Give me your take for right now who you see in the finals. Who you picking for the finals? Based on right now, out of all the teams that already done, and we know we got 2 Game 7s, but I want to kind of get your take. Who you picking to play in the finals?
Warriors.
Okay.
And I have to go with you and say the Bucks.
Okay.
Just because they've done it before, and I've seen Giannis win. I haven't seen Tatum win yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to go, I'm going to believe it. You got to show me before I give you that status. So I'm going with the teams that have shown me that they can win. Warriors have a full team, and I do believe that Giannis is going to have another 40-20 game. But the question is, with the pressure on at home, will Tatum have another 40?
Facts. That's a good take, man. So I want you to call in after this, this series is over, and then we're gonna do a follow up, and let's see how that look. So I like your pick, I like your takes, and I'm with you on that Chris Paul thing, man. Like it's now or never. If he don't get it, if he don't make it to the finals this year, again, he's not going back. He's not ever going back again.
Yo, many blessings to your show. I know it's launching off. I hope that many callers come in. But I just want your callers to know. I know this guy. Sometimes he's a little wacky with his LeBron takes. LeBron takes. But he's a good guy. Long as you're talking about other things other than LeBron.
Now we're gonna get into that. So you're gonna have to call back because this whole week, right? We doing no narratives, right? So we're gonna break down why we should do away with this. When we pretty much talk about a player, we need to stop adding things like All NBA, MVP, and all that stuff. We're gonna break that stuff down. I got reasons why. So y'all, I appreciate the call, man.
All right, have a good one.
All right, thanks, man. Yo, if you want to call in, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, just give us a call, 347-410-8077. That's 347-410-8077. Mell from Queens Sports Talk. Yeah. What's going on? It's your boy. You watching Mell from Queens Sports Talk on WGJSradio.com. Call in 347-410-8077. We got a caller coming in right now. Caller, just hold on for one moment. I just want to give a shout out real quick because when we do the show, we always want to support our local community and stuff. So if you're in the Queens area right now, or if you're going to be traveling to Queens, I want you to stop by God's Gospel Cafe. It's 19005 Hollis Avenue, Hollis, New York, 11423. That's God's Gospel Cafe. All for the whole entire month of May, they're just serving food for the community. You can go out there and speak with Sister Sharon. They have plates right now. I don't care if you well fed or if you just need a meal. It's for everybody. It's for the community. This is just ways that she used to outreach within the community. So if you know anybody that want a plate right now, She's going to be there from 3 to 5 every Saturday this month, from 3 to 5 every Saturday this month. And that's God's Gospel Cafe. That's 19005 Hollis Avenue. That's Hollis, New York. That's 11423. That's, very important. And also, I want to shout out the Lux Library. They're located at 480 Rockaway Turnpike, New York. And pretty much, if you need a place for like the whole, you want to host an event, you want to hold a birthday party or a baby shower, or you can tap in, and you can reach out to Delicia. And also, what she does grant writing. She does publishing. She has a program for the youth every Friday from 3 to 6. So I want y'all to tap in actually from 3 to 8. So that's the Lux Library, and that's 480 Rockaway Turnpike. That's right next to off Peninsula Boulevard. If you're familiar with Five Towns, it's right off Peninsula Boulevard, next door to that 7-Eleven off Rockaway Turnpike and Peninsula Boulevard, in the corner of that 7-Eleven. It's a great place. Reach out to Delicia. You can go online, www.theluxlibrary.co. That's www.theluxlibrary.co. Now let me get into this caller. Caller, what's going on? Where you calling from, and what's your name?
Yeah, this is Jay from Long Island.
Yo, what's going on, Jay? What's good?
I got to challenge you on some stuff you said.
Challenge. Let's go. I'm ready.
Before I challenge you, I got to say, the son ain't no excuse for Chris Paul. I don't want no excuses.
Okay.
You went to the finals last year. Everybody's healthy. Ain't no excuses. If you don't get it done, this is a black eye on your legacy. But
okay.
You've been a good point guard, great point guard, elite point guard.
Okay.
But ain't no excuses why you can't get it done. You got the best record. You got home court.
Mm-hmm.
The elite of the elite get it done. Having 4 points and 7 points and 13 points, that ain't elite of the elite. That's why people keep talking about Chris Paul as this great point guard, and they keep saying point guard every time he have a good game and he go 14 for 14. But then they go miss it when he go 4 points and 7 points and 11 points. So that's the Chris Paul. Now you mentioned Joel Embiid, so I'm gonna challenge you because you said Joel Embiid in his last few closeout games. I mean, last year he had a great offensive. I think he had about 38, but he had a lot of turnovers. He had about 7 turnovers.
Right.
That cost him.
Okay.
But you can't tell me that Joel Embiid struggled, but then call Patrick Ewing a superstar. Patrick Ewing wasn't no superstar. Patrick Ewing's team was built around the same way the Detroit Pistons that beat the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe and Shaq, and they super team. They beat them.
Wait. Which team you talking about? The Detroit with Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace.
Ben Wallace, Rasheed
Tayshaun
Wallace. They had no superstars, no Hall of Famers, no top 75 players, none of them. They was all a bunch of role players.
Now
here's no Hall of Famers.
Well, go ahead, finish.
They was none of them, and they beat the Lakers. Everybody chose their super team. They had Karl Malone, Shaq, Kobe, Gary Payton. I ain't making no excuses for him. I'm not making no excuses for Iverson. And the reason why I'm telling you about Patrick Ewing is because just like you said about Embiid not showing up in the biggest game, that was Ewing in the finals.
But hello. Here's the reason why we can't compare Embiid to Ewing, right? Because as you may say that there's been moments, yes, with Patrick Ewing has come up short, right? I've never been a New York fan, I've never been a New York Knicks fan. So we got another caller calling in, so we can on hold. Yeah, we put that call on hold. But look, I've never been a fan, of the New York Knicks, right? But the reason why I respect Ewing is because even though Ewing might have fell short in the finals, at least Ewing was carrying the team. Joel Embiid has not gone beyond the second round. So for there, when it goes to Joel Embiid, you got players like Ben Simmons, you got Maxey, you got Tobias Harris, you got Thibault, you got players around you. And don't get me wrong, he missed the first 2 games of the series, but he came back, he made an impact, and he shot bad last game. You can't shoot bad. You can't shoot bad at home. You know what I'm saying? Not this year. You can't do that this year. So when it comes to Joel Embiid, then I ain't putting him in a Ewing. I can't put him in that status.
But we over Gloss and Ewan, and he's not top notch.
Mm-hmm. Say that again.
Hello?
Hey, caller. You listening
Hey,
to
caller.
where you calling from and your name?
I'm Felicia from the Lux Library.
Hey, what's going on? I just gave you a shout out to the library. You know what? I think I missed a couple things that you do. So just tell them exactly, about the deluxe library. Because I was going to, deluxe library, I was going to actually come back and, speak about some things. But just tell them real quick, about deluxe library and what you offer there. Hey, what's going on? I just gave you a shout out to the library. You know what?
First of all, I was trying to say thank you for the shout out.
Uh-huh.
I'm over here watching. And
Okay.
I didn't even know I was on like live because we watching you live. And
okay.
You have another caller, so I was like in hold. But yeah, what's up? You sound great on radio, and I just kind of had a question about basketball.
Okay.
Like, what's happening with basketball? Who's winning the playoffs? Like, I'm not really up to date.
Okay, so right now we got the Miami Heat. They waiting to play the winner of the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks right now. So that's going to be like the next round. And then also we have the Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole. They're waiting for the winner of the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. So right now it's two teams waiting. So it should be a total of 4 teams left by the end of tonight. So
wow.
Yeah.
So it's still going.
Still going. About a couple more weeks.
Definitely in there.
Yeah, a couple more weeks. Probably be like, maybe about another 6 weeks. So
wow.
Yeah. So
wow. I don't even know how to go.
Yeah. But
so my team's already out.
Yeah. What's your team?
Knicks.
Oh, all right. Yeah. They done. Yeah.
I'm New York everything.
Oh, okay. All right. I feel you. All right. That's what's up. So I just got another caller as well. Thank you for calling. Just real quick. Don't you do what else do you do real quick? I want you to share real quick.
Yeah,
just quick.
Library, we basically offer literacy and publishing services for the community. And specifically, we just opened up a space called the Lux Library that actually houses our book clubs and our programs. So we just welcome people into the building. Come for a club, come for an event, come as you are, and just have a good time.
All right, give them.
Let me know what I can do to enhance your life through literacy, and we'll make it happen.
All right. Thanks for calling, caller.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a
good one.
All
right. Tell me what's going on. What's going on, man?
Yo.
What's going on? This is Mell from Queens. Who am I talking to, and where you calling from?
Yo, what's good, man? This is Say out of Queens. What's good, brother?
Yo, Say, what's going on, man? How you doing, man? How you doing?
Doing well, man.
All right, man.
Yo. First off, congratulations with the podcast, brother.
Yo, thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it. You one of the ballers, man. You know how I do. Far Rock, man. You know how we do, man. One of the ballers, man.
Already.
Yeah. So what you want to talk about today? I know I talked about a lot of things. What's on your mind?
Well, I see you was talking about the playoffs.
Yep.
And who's going to be in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So I think out of the last 4 teams, I think Boston got a definitely good shot to beat the Bucks tomorrow.
Okay.
Because Tatum is balling. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And even though I know you were saying Chris Paul, he's like it's now or never, whatever. But I'm looking at Booker most to step up, man.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to put him in the MVP conversation, and I like Booker.
Well, I put him in. I actually was one of them. I feel like he deserved that respect. That's why I don't like the MVP award anymore. But go ahead, finish.
Yeah, it's definitely a popularity contest. We already know that. You know
mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But so that's who I think, man. I think that's going to be the 2 teams. I think it's going to be Phoenix.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be Boston. Yeah.
And who taking it? Phoenix. Wow, Phoenix and Boston. That's the first I got that combination. So Phoenix and Boston, who's taking it?
If everybody's healthy, I think Phoenix takes it.
And just say like right now, if teams are the way they are right now, say if nobody's injured, no Middleton, You saying you going with Phoenix?
I'm going with Phoenix. Yeah.
Okay. I can respect that. I disagree.
Hmm.
But because you know why I disagree with you? Because Steph Curry, man, he owns Chris Paul. So once they get in that matchup, it's lights out. Like, it's nothing Chris Paul is going to be able to do. It's like everybody he put on that State Farm commercial take his spot. From Steph Curry, from Dame Lillard, Trey Young right now. Think about it. Everybody who he let shine on the State Farm commercial, right? They always outdoing him right now. Don't get me wrong. He got longevity. I respect what Chris Paul has done for the game. I just feel like he's a little bit overrated, personally. That's just me, though. That is me, though.
Nah. Yeah, I think, but I agree with what you were saying. This is last shot, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA landscape gonna look a lot different come over the summer. So, yeah, he better get it together right now.
Yeah, and I got a question for you because we're gonna transition to like the MVP talk, right? Who do you felt should have won MVP this year and why? Because I have questions about that, and I think this to unpack it, it's gonna need a couple days. So I might even come on during the week one day this week and talk about it. But who do you feel should have won the MVP?
I mean, if you go by stats, then it should have been Jokic. I mean, that dude was averaging a 30 triple-double close to, right? Like 30 points, double-figure rebounds and like 8 assists. I mean, centers don't have 8 assists every day, so you can't discount that. But I was going with Embiid.
But why
Embiid was the most consistent.
Well, what do you mean what most consistent and why? Because here's my question. Here's my thing. I have an issue with the NBA MVP, right? I'm realizing we really open our eyes. Everything is like a narrative, right? And they always try to create a narrative to give away this awards, right? So one moment is you scoring the most points, you get the MVP, right? Because in those days when just take it back in the 90s when Jordan won the MVP, right? He got a scoring title and steals, right? And he ended up getting the MVP, right? There's been times when LeBron won the MVP when he didn't have the scoring title, right? So we see somebody win the scoring title, they won MVP. We see triple doubles, they won. What really defines the MVP? And that's the issue I have. I felt like Greek Freak should have got the MVP, but I feel like the narrative that they create stats, right, to kind of help the next generation, like what's the word? Like make their resume look good, and not just every generation that happened to LeBron, happened to Jordan. Because think about it, I've been hearing like Jokic has been the first player I think with like 2,000 points and over 1,000 rebounds and like 500 assists, like, and they use that, right? But is that really a stat? Like, think about it. That can't really be a stat because if you give him the MVP because of that, right? Because Greek Freak averaged just the amount of points, right? And we're gonna put the MVP so y'all can see it. He averaged just the amount of points. So did Joel Embiid. They had better records. So how did we go all the way to a 6 seed in the West when you got two teams that they were tied for 3rd and 4th in the East, and they had great numbers as well. So how do we define the MVP? So I want to really we're going to spend a couple shows. We're going to have to unpack this because you got to understand I have a problem now with voters because voters, they could be biased at times and they can also have too much power where they can keep you out the Hall of Fame. There's so much going on with these voters where I think that MVP narrative, man, I think we got to revisit that. I think we're going to have to revisit that, but I want your take on that real quick because I want to get another caller in. We got about 10 more minutes in the show. But what you think about like the whole narrative of MVP? Can we truly really define what an MVP is? Because it seems like every year they're changing, like the qualifications to get MVP awards.
Right. What it takes to get it. Yeah. Right. I mean, I think at the end of the day is who has the biggest impact on a team. If I remove that player off the team, does that team stay a contender? Does that play? Team stays a championship contender, stuff like that. So I think you start there. You know what I mean? That's why, for example, like Ja Morant, I love Ja, but they blew G stayed out by 50 without him. So, it don't seem like he's making the biggest impact to get that kind of award. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you remove somebody from the team, it's just different. It's day and night.
Now,
You know what I mean?
I agree with that, right? And thanks for calling. I got to take another caller, right?
All right, boy.
I appreciate it. I agree with that, right? But the only issue I have, no, I don't really have an issue with that, with the Ja Morant. But I do have an issue because the Suns weren't as great when Devin Booker wasn't playing as just say like Ja Morant. So I feel like because they had the best record, because he had great numbers, he still averaged about 26, 5-5, which is good for a point guard, and his team had the best record. I truly believe if you take Devin Booker off that team is not as good as they are right now. Now, some may disagree, but I don't believe it. If you disagree, you call in. I'm going to take about, try to get one more call, at least one more call in. Call in 347-410-8077. You listening to the Mell from Queens Sports Talk Show. We just was talking about, the MVP. What are you feel like the qualifications of an MVP should be? Do you feel like an MVP player got robbed this year? I'm not mad that Jokic, got the MVP. I personally believe that the most consistent player all year, and also they had the record, was Giannis, Greek Freak. I feel like, if you wasn't giving it to Booker because they have the best record and he did his thing, I think the next option could have been Greek Freak. And then we talking about stars, right? If you take Jimmy Butler off the Miami Heat right now, right? He might not have the superstar numbers, right? But he gets it done and he does what needs to be done for the team to win. If you take Jimmy Butler off the Miami Heat, are they even close to being what they are right now? I would say no. If you disagree, let me know. But I would say no. I don't think the Miami Heat. So when we talking about MVP, if you don't have the numbers, and as the caller just said, it should be part of the MVP. What's the word? To be a candidate, it should be the impact you have on your team. And I feel like right now, the way I'm looking at it now, because the Miami Heat has no other superstars, if we really look at how the Miami Heat are right now playing is going to be playing in the Eastern Conference Finals, we can't say that any other team right now has a player that if you took their main player off the team, they probably won't be somewhat as good. If you take off Jaylen Brown, you still got Jason Tatum. If you take off Jason Tatum, you still got Jaylen Brown. If you take off Booker, you still have Ayton and Chris Paul, and you have Payne. You have a couple ballers. I don't think they would be as good, but I don't think the drop-off would be the same drop-off as the drop-off if you took Jimmy Butler off Miami. I just don't think it. I don't think so. So, let me know. I thank everybody for calling in. Like I said, if you know anybody with got sports programs within the community, if you know anybody that has like things going on, I don't care if it's volleyball, I don't care if it's basketball, baseball, soccer, let me know so I can promote it. How will the community know what's available if we don't tell them? And you don't have to be in New York. This is for like in your state. People watching all over. Have your people watch. This is going to be nationwide, worldwide. So if you in my people, I got people in Milwaukee or people down in Georgia or wherever you are, like call in. Let us know if we missing the next star. Let us know. We want to do an interview. We want to do an interview about your program. We want to know how you assisting in the program, whether it's through sports, whether it's through natural resources, because people need things. And that's why I gave y'all, if anybody right now want to go get a plate, God's Gospel Cafe, Sister Sharon, 19005 Hollis Avenue, Hollis, New York, 11423. For the entire month of May, she's going to be giving out free plates to the community. That's the way that she served the community. You don't have to. A lot of times people think you got to be homeless. No, it's not about whether you're homeless or if you need it. Even if you're well fed, you just want to come by and get a meal. Maybe even donate or just say see what's going on in the community. Just go stop by. Check it out. And also if you need a place to rent for like an event, if you're trying to write a book, you need a publisher. If you need some place for your youth to go, you want to look at the Lux Library. That's 480 Rockaway Turnpike. That's 480 Rockaway Turnpike. There's so many different things that's going on in the community. And as I said before, I wanted my first show. I wanted to support Big Baller Brand, Laval Ball. So I just got this like 3 years ago. And I started my page, Mell from Queens Sports Talk. I ain't do nothing with it, but I had the vision. And this is like the hoodie and stuff like I always wanted to wear on my first show, just to show the support. Like, yo, we support the community. It's not just about just our own. We support all athletes. But a lot of times in the media, we get a lot of negative narratives and stereotypes and different things going on. So we're going to change that. So we want this to be like a family type sports event. We want everybody to be a part of it, to feel a part of this, you know, and, I thank y'all for supporting. So WGJSradio.com, follow us on Instagram as well, Our World Media, and also at WGJS Radio. Also, you can follow me. I'm on TikTok, Mell from Queens Sports Talk. I'm going to be dropping some stuff up there. I'm on Facebook, Mell from Queens Sports Talk as well. So, look out for me. Hit me up. If you know people that's really making a difference in the community, let me know. We want to bring them up here. We want to have some interviews. I have some interviews planned. Even if you got like a story, I might know somebody that's working on a sports story. I might have a guest next week. They're working on a series. And it's going to be about highlighting athletes and different things going on. I don't want to give too much yet. But we want you to come. We want you to feel involved. And, I want you guys to engage. And my saying is either tap in or miss out. So, just keep tapping in, keep watching. And we here for you. And it's Mell from Queens Sports Talk Radio. Yo, thank y'all for listening. Until next week, yo, be safe out there.
Time move here, Gary.
Talk about elevating and linker. Jermaine Griffin says, well, if Kobe can't do it, maybe it's my turn to take over. I'm the second leading scorer on this team.